just not many body types like that are athletic and do all the things that you need them to do. And so, and you've got to be, I think committed enough to recruiting those guys, having a tight end coach, and implementing them in your offense. And we've been able to do that with the success of Mark, and then here are our guys as of late. So it's been a fun weapon. I think it's when you've got a great one, it's one of the tougher things to defend.
Jalen fitting in. You obviously have skills more like Kyler than Baker. Is that fair to say? Does that with their ability to run?
Yeah, he's more athletic than Baker. Yeah, right. Certainly.
Right.
He's a different kind of athlete than Kyler. But yeah, it's interesting. There's a lot of similarities with them, and then there's all parts of all of them that are radically different.
Yeah. Would you have to change that much though? The defense is a little bit more like Kyler as a dual quarterback.
No, not really. I mean, I think it's and kind of how we do it. Just we always right now it's just learning our base stuff and seeing how good they can get at our base things, and then whoever wins the job, then we'll tailor it to them the best we can.
Lincoln, how closer are you to naming a starter, and what's that competition been like over the summer?
Yeah, not any closer. Just I got to see them for a while. I've been in the meeting room with them for about an hour a week here in the summer, which is about all I'm able to. Get to see them work out. Don't get to see them throw. So, but I think they're all doing well. Competition will be raised here certainly in August, and we'll. You got about a month there, which gives you 2 to 3 weeks probably, realistically to work through it and try to have a guy named and then go forward from there.
Lincoln, what do you think about what Mac has done at Iowa State against that program possibly along?
Phenomenal job, and I'm glad he stayed. Not glad for the league, not glad from a competitive standpoint, but he's a heck of a coach, man. He's done a great job. His players played the tails off. Made a big improvement, obviously, in that program. So it shows the quality of the job he's done and his staff.
Lincoln, former coaches in this league, how does it change the dynamic of what you're going to be trying to do with the league in this season?
Yeah, a little hard to say right now. I think there's going to be probably a little bit of them filling us out, us doing the same. But I know it's for quality coaches. There's no doubt about that. The guys are proven, and the guys have shown they can get the job done. So they're taking over 4 programs that it's hard to envision. Each of those programs not making a good job.
Coach, so you've got another top 10 recruiting class, and is there anybody that you see stepping up this year and playing a big role for you?
Too early to say. It's so hard for freshmen. I mean, it's doable. We've had a history of guys doing it. I've been able to see the guys that came in midterm, obviously a little bit more than the guys that just came in. But I mean, there'll be some guys that make an impact, but tough to pick them out right now.
From a leadership perspective, what kind of impact do you think Jalen's had since he's been on campus? A lot of guys in the spring talked about it. There's a video of him in the weight room where everybody got pretty fired up.
Yeah. No, I think they were excited to have him here, and he's certainly become one of those guys on the team already. Kind of has that presence about him, and I think the respect of the team. I don't think there's any doubt about that. So, his focus right now, he's trying to lead, but his big focus right now is trying to be the best quarterback he can be, and that's where it needs to be right now.
A lot of publicity with Spencer coming in. How's he acclimated to the quarterback room?
Spencer's done well. It's been fun to have him in there. He's very, very eager, very excited. I think a bunch of his buddies were here midterm, and he heard all about it and was just, I think, really chomping at the bit to get here. So it's going to be fun to throw him in the mix. I mean, there's no doubt he wants to be right in the middle of it, and so we'll throw him out there in August and see where he's at.
Lincoln, take us through what you feel the state of the rivalry right now is with Texas. A lot of people are saying it's among the best they've ever seen. Do you agree with that?
Oh man, I got a long, healthy respect for this rivalry. So I mean, it's to say it's the best it's ever. I mean, that's pretty good, and it is really good right now. It's how the rivalry should be. It's one of the great rivalries in all of sports, and so it's been a lot of fun being a part of it the last 4 years. Been a lot of great battles. I'm sure we've got a lot more upcoming, and but to say it's the best ever, this rivalry's. I know my history a lot better than that.
Bowlesby said it's only enhanced by the possibility of playing here in the championship game. Just how that made it a little bit different last year.
Yeah, that's fair. It did make it different. A little tough to maybe put words on how it was different, but it was certainly a new feeling. But yeah, I can't think it. I mean, I know it was great for the league, great for college football, and I'm sure there were a lot of people around very happy about that matchup.
Reagor said Texas is back at Sugar Bowl late, and then Baker weighed in on that. Obviously, you got any thoughts on whether they're back or not?
Not really. I mean, they're doing a great job. I mean, that's kind of out of my wheelhouse. So
You try.
I'm a veteran in the league.
I know.
You are.
Lincoln, you guys have dominated the Big 12. You've got to the college football playoff. What's it going to take, or is there one simple reason why you guys have not got to the title game?
You know, we haven't played complete enough in those semifinal games.
Mm-hmm.
Not really necessarily one side of the ball or the other. We haven't played a complete enough game to beat another top 4 team in the country. You know, we've been really close, and we've had some stretches in all of the semifinal games, all 3 of them with some really good ball, but we haven't done it. So obviously, you try to get as good as you can as a team, where your margin for error is a little bit lower, and then you got to try to play your very best game there. So if we're lucky enough to get that spot again, we're gonna have to do a better job.
Do you catch grief from other coaches about your quarterbacks who kind of show up on your doorstep?
No. I mean, I think just not really grief.
Yeah.
You know, I think they've been. They probably hadn't enjoyed competing against them, but I think there's been a respect for the way those guys have played.
Right.
Any update on Jalen Reagor since we last talked to you?
Doing well health-wise, progressing. We're being very conservative still with him, obviously, with not having obviously any contact, anything like that. But I think all indications are positive right now.
Lincoln, you're 2 for 2 in this league so far. What's the challenge of staying on top in this conference?
It's just hard every year. It's not really staying on top to me. It's now you gotta. We all start at the same place right now, and it's all 4 of them have been really hard to win, and you know, winning it again this year would be just as hard. And so you gotta start back at the drawing board, and you gotta go fight and scrap and claw each and every week, and you gotta get better as the season goes on. And I think we've taken some steps to maybe make us better, but we'll find out soon.
Recruiting is obviously a huge part of that, isn't it? Especially when you're winning battles, you're beating other teams that you're competing against.
Yeah, you got to win those battles. You got to get some of the best players. I mean, the players make it without a doubt, and you've got to capitalize when you've had, when you've been able to do some of the things that we have. And so we feel like we have. But again, like any of this, where it's hired coaches, bringing recruits in, whatever, you don't know until it happens. But we're pretty confident about the group that we do have.
What stood out most about having Alex around the program now for a number of months with the defense?
Yeah, just a different vibe and energy, on that side of the ball. He's, like I've said a lot, he's a mentality-first guy, which is, the number one thing that kind of drew me to him in the beginning of the search for the new coordinator. And I think he's got very high expectations and does a tremendous job communicating that to the defensive staff and our players.
You mentioned reasonable expectations for maybe a down year. Is that 2 losses or 3 losses? How would you describe
I don't know.
a down
I better
year?
be careful defining that, but it's not too many losses. I know that.
Have you ever been more?
Spring, depth in the secondary was sort of warming. Do you feel better about that with the freshmen that have come in this summer?
I like their talent. I like their eagerness, without a doubt. Some of those battles that we won will pay dividends later on. But you like how they look. I mean, you're kind of typically excited like you normally are, but they've got to go prove it. So, but excited, got more excited probably about them and the combination of having Alex and Coach Manning there working with them.
Overall talent is about as good as last year, you think?
Well, I mean, the line's in a little bit different place as far as experience, but yeah, I mean, we got enough talent to win all of them. But we gotta, but have enough talent doing it, or there's a lot of people we got enough talent to win all of them.
Lincoln, you guys have had a great deal of success. Have you ever been more frustrated in a win than against Army last year? Just their style of play, keep away.
It was frustrating. I've been more frustrated because there's times I thought we weren't playing as well, and we did everything we wanted to do in that game. We didn't give up big plays in the run game. We were pretty efficient offensively. I mean, like, we did everything you do to be an Army, except we didn't defend them very well on third downs, and we didn't get a 4th and goal in. But that's what they do. They make the game about a couple of different plays, and if they don't go your way, it can be a ball game quickly, and it was. And it was a battle. It was weird. I think we only had 39 plays at the end of regulation.
They couldn't stop you on defense, but then.
Yeah. And like I said, defensively, we didn't give up. I think the longest play we gave up the whole day in 90-something plays was like 13 yards, which is like perfect. But,
right.
We a couple key plays when we had a chance to separate, we didn't get it done.
Lincoln, you talked about the acceleration for Jalen, just getting into this program, learning the system. What's been the biggest key with you and him as far as your relationship goes to kind of get that accelerated and get comfortable with each other and that chemistry?
It's just learning to communicate with each other, not having to spend as much time with him in that room. You know, kind of learning him, how he learns best, how he thinks, even things as simple as what he calls this and what I call this, and making sure that when we say that word, sometimes if so many words get tossed around in football, it's weird. You may say one word means one thing, and this kid at his other place it may have meant something else. And so we're just kind of building that relationship. So it's grown a lot. I like where it's headed.
Is there one quality that's jumped out?
Given the caliber of quarterbacks with Kyler and with Baker, what sets Jalen apart? What gives him that X factor coming into this season?
You got to win the job first. He wins the job, and we'll talk about that.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Lincoln. Appreciate it.